Welcome back to Wise Kracks. This week, I'm alone in studio. I'm alone again. John is, I just found out, literally called me from a surfboard and he said, I'm down on the beach in Miami. Charlie, it's warm in Miami, Charlie. Let's see where anyone knows that sign from, that movie. Anyway, John, where are you at actually? Where are you surfing and doing all your water activities?
I'm actually in Boca Raton, Florida.
Why wouldn't you be?
And here's the funny part, Crack. I'm visiting our podcast junkie studio here in Boca, but I'm not even broadcasting from the studio in Boca. I'm in the hotel lobby because it's good news, bad news. The bad news is the studio's booked, and I couldn't even do a show from there today. But the good news is the studio's booked, Bill.
John, this is not a big money laundering scheme. You do have a studio down there, right?
No, there is a real.
I'm ready for you to show me a boardwalk, and you're underneath the boards, and this is the studio.
George is going to insert some photos of the podcast junkie studio into this episode, so you can at least see. Right now, he'll put it in there when he does all the posts, so you can see there is a studio. I'm just not in it. I am in the Hyatt. I'm in the Boca Hyatt lobby right now.
I couldn't afford the Boca Hyatt, but good for you.
It is pricey, Bill.
Oh, it's got to be. Forget it. Listen, hotel rooms are out of control anyway. You're talking about Boca hotel rooms? Forget it.
How much do you think for 2 nights? We were here for 2 nights. How much do you think?
$1,200? Am I too cheap?
Pretty close. Not 900.
Oh, 900?
900.
Book me a room. That's a good deal. $450 a night. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you're coming in?
No, I mean, I am going to Florida at some point after Super Bowl.
What part?
I don't know, wherever the wind takes me, and it's hard to take me different places. Okay. I'll just land
You usually come to Florida.
Yeah, I'll land in Fort Lauderdale.
Times a year.
A couple days I'll spend over there at our buddy Howie Schwab's. He always puts me up. Oh. He gets mad that I was spending money on a hotel room, and he's got a sick place overlooking Gulfstream Racetrack in Aventura. I hope I'm saying it right. And it's totally sick. I'll embarrass him a little bit.
Gulfstream is in what city?
I think it's in Aventura. I think so. I think that's where this.
Oh, I don't even know.
Well, put it this way. That's a little section there. Very ritzy section, though. Listen, the HOA fees are $3,500 a month. That's like crazy. I mean, these buildings. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's
what's the mortgage?
That's a
10K?
real. That's a real number. Yeah. There's so many nice high rises over there, and there's lots of foreign money there, lots of Russian money, and there's lots of foreign money down there in those few towns around the racetrack and in Florida in general. But I know the building has a lot of Europeans, and it's just a nice. I tell you what, it's safe. Whenever you have a guard gate, a doorman, your own private elevator that opens right to your apartment. It's really nice. It's maintenance free. You don't have to worry about the lawn and paying or even taking garbage out and that kind of thing. It's pretty simple stuff. Right. You just throw it down a chute or whatever. But you're in Florida, and you're in a great place in Florida. I love Florida. Florida's a safe, good. The only thing I don't like is the summer there. I can't take bugs. There's so many bugs.
Hot, man.
It's too humid.
Bugs are crazy.
It's humid like crazy.
Yeah.
But when I'm down there, you wouldn't think this. I'll actually hang out at the pool every day. I go to he has a great spa downstairs. So he gets me a spa pass for the week. I go to the spa every day. And, I go in the hot tub, I go in the jacuzzi, the jacuzzi, and then go in the dry sauna. And it's just cool. And they have a great pool, outdoor pool. It's great. I've been there many times. I enjoy that. I actually enjoy that time away. And I don't have to be with anyone. Just some alone time's fine. It's great. But let's talk. Sure. Let's get into a little sports here, John, because I hate to say another week where I don't know. All of a sudden, I'm picking NFL sides, and I've had some success with Kansas City here. Usually, I won't put that much emphasis into NFL sides, but I just think Kansas City was a better team, and I played the money line. I gave out the money line. I'm giving out on all the shows I've been doing, giving out the dogs, and I'm going to stick with that again. I like Kansas City again in the Super Bowl. Listen,
100%.
It comes down to defense a lot. That's the old school adage: defense wins Super Bowls. Not as much anymore. However, that's still a major part of it. You know, you almost want to say like 60% defense, 30% offense, 10% special teams, something like that. People don't think about special teams, but that also comes into play. But the defense does, and Kansas City has a really good defense, as we've seen. But their second half offense last week is the reason probably why they're not pick 'em in the Super Bowl or, close to pick 'em. But I'll tell you, you know what it is? They took the pedal off the metal. They kind of slowed things down. And I'll tell you what, it seems like Kansas City's the type of team that they'll do what they have to do when they have to do it. So if they needed points second half, they'll push the pedal on the metal again and get points in the second half. So, John, I on my Fox show on the weekend, I gave out nothing but winners. I gave out a ton of winners on the Fox show. And I gave out like some first quarter team to score first quarter and third quarter in the San Fran game, knowing Detroit gets the ball first most of the time, and they opt to take the ball. And then I also said, well, if they're going to take the ball, let them take plus 115 on who's going to score first. And I also gave out Kansas City. Now, I want to tell you something, though. Something you probably don't even realize, something you said sitting in this chair. I bet on it at 25-1 and 20-1. I even gave it out on the Fox show. I bet, will Kansas City beat Detroit, taking 20-1 in the Super Bowl, and will Detroit beat Kansas City, taking 25-1? I just know it was priced wrong. Those prices were way too high. Usually those future markets are sucker bets. You're going to go in there, and it's only going to be yes markets. It's not going to be yes, no. So normally a sucker bet. But if you have so many outs like myself and all these different places to bet at, and you see it 10-1, 12-1, these are real numbers, by the way, maybe 15-1, and then I seen Circa had 17-1, I believe, for a hair that they moved. That's when I knew. I just knew the 25-1 was too high anyway. So, John, you picked that last week. Do you realize you said, I'll give you a shock who's going to be in the Super Bowl? Kansas City and Detroit. That's what you said in this seat, and you should have been right. Detroit should have won.
Right.
Detroit should have won the game.
Pilot error.
No,
100%. They gave that game away.
Gave the game away.
What was he thinking? What was he thinking?
Yeah.
Going for it twice on fourth. Like, I get it. I know that's his thing. I get it. In the regular season, that can be your thing.
That's how he got there, I guess.
I know, but man, I can't imagine he's not kicking himself right now.
I'm actually even surprised. I'm almost surprised that he didn't get more flack in the media. But I guess I guess he's really loved by those guys for being aggressive.
Yeah.
So, and he did get there that way.
His methods worked, right? He got him there, and I get it. Go with what gets you there, and I get all that. But man, it goes back to what I said about the Chiefs. You don't have to bet on him. You don't have to bet on Mahomes, but don't bet against him. It's just he's the new Brady.
It's true.
And so for Detroit to not kind of like acknowledge who you're playing against, you can't give that guy a window of opportunity. You've got to just keep closing the door. You've got to keep making the gap wider and wider between the two of you, because he, just when you play against someone like Purdy, he's shown he's Wonder Boy. He's shown, he's a winner. He's a winner. Mahomes is a winner. Like, when you're playing guys like that have shown you they know how to dig deep and they know how to make it happen.
Yeah,
you gotta take the points.
Yeah, no, and there was a couple key drops there too. I think Reynolds. There was a couple key drops in the game, also
Big
on
drops,
Detroit.
yeah,
some key things. Some of the play calling on
and
third
some
down
freak
even.
Occurrence plays. Like,
how about off the bounce off the hands and the other guys hit 51 yards?
Right.
I mean, there was just so many of these things. It was just a freak thing. So now the line comes out. Of course, the line comes out. First, some of the books like the DraftKings and the FanDuel. FanDuel first had the first line that I seen anywhere. FanDuel put up a 3, +3, It was there for a couple seconds, plus 3 minus 20, and then it went to plus 3 minus 22, and therefore some other shops started putting up. I actually found a plus 3 minus 20 right at the beginning for a minimal amount until they took. And then it went down to one dog 15. So let's just call it almost pick 'em. And the last 36 hours, it's been nothing but San Fran money. So now the game's back to 2.5. I don't.
You know what I think is going to happen?
What's that?
You might think I'm crazy for saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I just think San Francisco shouldn't even be there. I think they got a lot of big breaks.
Last couple of weeks, they got a lot of breaks.
And
I
think we're looking at a Kansas City blowout.
Oof. Well, you could bet like minus Kansas City wins by 7. I think I seen on an alternate line -7 plus 3 to 1. So you could bet those kind of things. I just hope that they get there and win the game. I want them to win on the money line. Cause I took some money line too. I found some plus 123 money line. So I bet that also. Usually don't bet that kind of money on. I usually don't really look too much at the side of the Super Bowl, except when it first opens up, and I try to beat someone to the line because I kind of know which way the public's gonna go on these things. So,
right.
I just think that the public loves Mahomes too. But however, right now, San Fran money leads the pack. And big bets lead the pack. I was reading yesterday in the New York Post, Caesars took $1 million. The first $1 million bet they took was on San Fran. You know what's funny? They bet $1 million to win, 900,000 or something, or whatever it was. 800. I think it was a money line, 887, something like that. I was kind of surprised. I think I have it on my phone. I was kind of surprised. That means it's literally just square money. Yeah, here. This is yesterday's New York Post. So you guys I should tweet this article out. Whales begin targeting 49ers with $1 million Super Bowl bet. Whales swimming around Super Bowl. Caesars reported $1 million wager on the 49ers money line, -120. The $1 million wager would win $833,000, and if Brock Purdy defeats the Mahomes and the Chiefs. So according to the different sources they have of sports books, and let's use Caesars. The assistant director of trading, Adam Pullen, told the Post on Sunday they're expecting the Super Bowl handle to be a record $190 million. The record of $190 million is going to be broken this week. This kind of goes along. This like $1 million bet goes into that pool. So, BetMGM reported to the Post that 16% of the bets were on San Fran money line, 21% of the handle on San Fran. So this could be a sign of the pros are in on San Fran. See, I'm not even going to quote a New York Post reporter. I'm done reading it because that doesn't mean that the pros are on that side. That doesn't mean that. I mean, if anything, the line opened up 3 and 2 and a solid 2.5 everywhere. That first money, the first 20 minutes, if you want to call that the pro money, you can call it. So I don't think now laying the points, on even the money line -120. I just don't think that's pro money. Here, you get everyone bets on this game, from neighbors, friends, housewives. Everyone has Super Bowl parties, box squares, those box pools. Yeah. There's so many different things you can bet on. Everyone's involved in betting, having a bet or a rooting interest financially on the Super Bowl.
Did you watch the games? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, current line 2 and 47.5. Let's call it that. So go ahead. Did I watch what?
Did you watch in a sports book by any chance?
No.
Or were you at home?
Home.
You were at home.
Yeah, I'll be home. I'll be home probably for this one too. Next week's a busy week though. I'm getting pulled on already left and right. I thought I was just going to go to Radio Row Wednesday, Thursday. So now I have a pass for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from Fox, and now I'm seeing Monday, Tuesday, there might be some requests too. So now I have to remaneuver there. So it's just, you want to talk some shop. You want to talk shop with a guy that literally bets for a living, that's in the media. That's a rarity. I don't really know too many that are in the media that bet for a living.
I watched the game at the Durango Resort Sportsbook.
Great spot. I wish they booked me, but great spot.
And what do you mean? Oh, they won't take your action.
Yeah, they threw me off the app. And they have all different excuses for anyone that wins. It's just, oh, we don't throw winners out. Yeah. Okay.
I
Tell it to the
I
judge.
watched over there, and I could not believe the number of San Francisco fans. You would have thought I was in a bar in
Wow.
San Francisco.
Wow.
Yeah,
So that
I was
tells you a lot
shocked.
when you hear them screaming and
Yeah,
yelling, or you hear no
yeah,
noise. It tells you a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so what
I mean, I
happened to
know
what happened to
Vegas is close
resorts?
to California, but
Yeah.
shocking. What
Well,
happened to
it's a
Resorts World?
local
Why don't we go
crowd.
there?
You would think it'd be a local
Yeah,
crowd. You wouldn't think it'd be all these
that's
San
true
Fran.
too.
What happened to yeah? You don't go to resorts no more for
No,
the games.
I live pretty close to
So you
Durango, and
just go hang
the
out there.
setup there is great, and there's no
How'd you get a seat? I would think it'd be packed.
So luckily, when they first opened, I happened to ask what I thought was a random guy in a suit how the seating works, and got to talking, and he ended up being the sportsbook manager or director. His name's Bert. I don't know if you know Bert.
I think I
Um,
do know Bert.
he was a real nice guy. He's been real
Yeah.
good to me. He's been giving us this insane table every
Oh,
week.
it's nice. Good guy. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So you went down. So you went down to Florida. You're coming back tomorrow. And what are you
Coming
doing
back
like for the
tomorrow.
Super Bowl? What's your plans?
So I have a party at the house every year.
Nice.
And I have a bunch of people that fly in. I've got to have a bunch of sad people because most of them are from Detroit, and they thought this was going to
Oh,
be their
wow.
year.
Wow.
So I'm going to have some broken-hearted people in my house. And then around halftime, unbeknownst to my friends that are flying in, I guess they might find out if they watch this. I'm sneaking out of my own party, and I'm going up to Dana's.
Oh, wow. So let
Just
me
for
ask you,
maybe
John.
halftime in the third quarter. Yeah.
You know, having a new house, wouldn't you like you have all these new people in your new house and stuff? Like, is the missus, is she like ordering a porta potty and with a lock and locking the bathroom doors like Johnny Drama and Entourage, or like what's
No, I know everyone that's coming. This is the same crew that came last year and the year before.
okay?
So
No silverware,
it's
nothing valuable missing. It's
no,
good.
we're good, but it is about 25 or 30 people. But I
Oh,
know
God.
everybody really well. That
John,
was a nightmare. For
I
you.
don't know
I know. I was gonna invite
25
you. You would
people.
never even come.
No, I don't know
dare
25.
you.
I don't know 25 people that I'm close enough to invite over, and that includes
Come on.
like family. No, I don't. I really don't.
Really?
No. People think so much different of me. They think I'm like the happy, jolly guy, like Santa Claus coming through
Right.
casinos and have
You don't
tons
want
of
anything of
friends.
That mess.
No, and I'm
Like,
not
if I
trying not
invited
to
you,
have
you would
friends.
Never come. There's no way you'd come over with that many people there.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not trying to say I'm rude and I don't want
You won't
friends.
answer.
No, I'm not coming. I'll tell you right now. But I'm not saying I'm rude and I don't have friends. But it's hard to maintain friends when you're a sports bettor, a gambler, and you're constantly being pulled for media stuff, and it's hard to maintain friends long term that don't look at you differently. Unless I was, it's just I don't want. It's hard to get friends now because they may think I have a couple bucks or something. You know what I mean? And I'll pass on that. I'm talking about good friends that I do know some people. I met a guy on Twitter that I love. He's one of my best friends. So I have met one guy on there, and I met a guy that just came up to me literally at resorts in Atlantic City from the Showtime show. And he's like, "Oh, my friend loves you on Action, and we live in Long Island. I want to talk." And I got to be good friends with him. So I'm not saying I can't get any new friends. I'm just saying I have to be more careful. I've been burnt for a lot of money. I constantly think people are closer to me than they are, constantly. And people will constantly step over $100 bill to steal a dollar. And even though I've met some guys on Twitter that I made money, that they made nothing but money with me. They still I'm owed like 45,000 from guys on Twitter that they made more than 45,000 each one of them. It's so stupid. Like, it's just so dumb. It's just state.
Does that make you want to change the way you operate? Or
I try,
you
John,
still
but it's
like
hard.
how
It's hard. It's hard. It really gets me down, to be honest with you. Especially that I try to help everyone, and I try to. Listen, I'm not trying to say I'm welcome. I'm not saying I'm part of sainthood, but if we're going out to dinner or something, I'm paying. If we're going around somewhere, I'm paying. If you need a couple bucks, you got it. Right. You don't have to rob me. So it's
right.
It's just
It's a letdown.
It is what it is. It is what it is. It's as I get older, I hope I learn more from it. But anyway, what else? What else do we have this week? I have some notes here for some things.
What do you got?
Let's see. Oh, I seen some. What's that? Chaz Palminteri does a podcast, and I just like, because a lot of it's street sense. Like I always say, street smarts, common sense, decision making skills. I think all kids should watch it. It's just. I say kids, I mean the 30 and under crowd, 25 and under crowd. He was talking about the phone, having the phone out. Like, I'll go to dinner and I'll have my phone out and I'll tell the person I'm at dinner with, you understand, I have a prop guy I deal with. I'm sorry, I have two of them that text me. Two different prop guys. I have two different originators that if they need help getting down on games and stuff, like, or if they give me good information, I have to have my phone on during football season at least, and into some of basketball season, especially the beginning of basketball. I'll kind of turn it off as like March Madness gets here and stuff. But he was talking about people that check their phone constantly, middle of the night, and how it suppresses the production of melatonin in your brain if you look at your phone at night. And that's the hormone that regulates your sleep. So I was looking into it. He's right. There's some stories on this. In other words, I don't get up. My phone's turned off when I go to bed, but I don't get up and go into the bathroom and check the phone or because I plug it in there. I don't check the phone when I'm in the middle of the night. But once in a while, if I see the light go on and the room light up, I'll get up and just check, make sure it's not everything. I don't have any kids, so it's not like I have to make sure. People have to make sure if you have kids. I understand grandkids and your parents and all elderly. Like I said, I really don't have anyone I have to worry about the phone being on. But, that's going to keep you up longer. So it's interesting that I seen that, It's interesting that I seen that. I thought his episodes are great anyway. So if you guys want to check out a podcast. And he's got some old school guys on there, which I love. I love when he has the old school shows and brings on the neighborhood, knock around people, and they talk shop. I think it's pretty fun. My life is podcast, by the way. I don't know about you, John, but I don't listen to any terrestrial radio. I don't turn on.
Never.
I can't learn anything by. I don't mean to say it like that, but I can't learn anything by listening to just sports talk with three guys from ESPN. They're not going to teach me hardly anything. I'm not that I'm not up to learning things. I'm not learning them from them. That's for sure. So I have sports betting guys that have shows that I respect, that I listen to the podcast. Yeah, I listen to 3 different sports betting podcasts a week where I get really good information. I'll listen to that. There's a Wednesday show. Just happens we film Wednesday, but there is a Wednesday show at noon with Steve Fezzik and Las Vegas Chris and Jared Smith. Jared's like the guy in the middle that just takes in. He knows he's around greatness with these two guys. I respect I love Steve Fezzik. I mean, I've gotten really close to him over the years too, and I just think he comes off. The people say he comes off a little arrogant. He's not. He's confident. He has a lot of confidence. Sure. I just love the way he talks, and I think that he's a fountain of knowledge. He's a genius. He is. So I listen to that podcast. I'll listen to some. Believe it or not, I'll listen to some. I like the mob genre, where I'll listen to a couple of the podcasts here and there of the mob genre. I listen to that every week. But my secrets there are definitely listening to this 3 different podcasts that are really helpful in just the way I look at bets. Doesn't matter that they're you're putting out a Wednesday show. It's hard to pick a game against that line. We bet against openers. We bet against moves. We bet against information being the biggest. And it's hard to just come out with 3 games or 4 games or 5 on a Wednesday taping against a Joe Public line. That's not why I go to those podcasts. I look to pick up the little nuggets of wisdom of what Steve says, what Chris says about little things that they do, moving parts. There's a really good show there. And I listen to some Twitter stuff. I listen to some live Twitter stuff and some Twitter feeds. Pretty good. There's like, I forget what they call it, Twitter something. Spaces, maybe? I think it's called Spaces.
Yeah. Well, now it's X.
What about you? What about you, John? Do you don't listen to no radio then?
I really don't. The only sports guys I actually listen to is I actually enjoy our very own George Carmona, shameless plug for Gridiron Junkies.
Okay, cool.
I like what George's take is, and our buddy, I think you're going on his show either this week or next week, Nick Deus over at Veterans Minimum Podcast over at Blue Wire.
John, I hope I didn't miss that. I didn't miss that, did I? Jesus.
I don't remember. I don't remember when you're supposed to go on.
My God.
Did you blow it?
I hope not.
But I love Nick's show.
I wrote all this stuff down, too.
I think he would have texted you.
He would have texted me, right?
I would think.
Can you do that?
If Nick
no, February 5th. February 5th.
Okay, there we
Good.
go.
Thank the Lord.
I think he would text you. Yeah. So next Monday, right? Next Monday you're on?
Is it Monday?
Is it next Monday or Wednesday?
It looks like it's Monday. Perfect.
Monday, yeah. Next Monday.
next Monday. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yeah.
Just so I can write it down.
Nick's really good. I like the way he looks at things, and I think Nick. I would actually encourage you to keep your eye on Nick.
Oh yeah. Okay, good.
I feel like he finds those dogs like prop bets and with dogs. I feel like that's kind of his thing. Like he comes up with some good ones sometimes. George could probably speak to it better than I can.
Right.
Like specific mentions. I can't think of any right now. I think he does a good job. I've been watching Sean Perry lately, just on social media.
Oh, is that the poker player that was taking a piece?
Yes.
He's looking for press. He talks arrogant, shows money, right?
Yeah. Yes, he does a lot of that stuff that I know you don't like. But
not that I don't like. Listen, I don't watch him.
Giving out games. He's been giving out a lot of games for free. I think now he's charging, but like I was tracking him. This guy went legit like 18-5 over the last 10 days.
Well, that means you should fade him now. He's got to come back to the mean. I'm just saying, like 18-5. No one can keep. No one can keep. Me and the best syndicates in the world can't keep that percentage up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's 18 out of 23 games. I mean, now's the time to fade the guy. And, I don't know if he's doing anything with the analytical or model background. I
have no idea.
Back-tested, type of thing. I don't know.
Would you want to have him on?
No. I don't think so.
Okay,
You know why? If I had him on, I know it would be good for views. I know that.
Yeah.
But if I had him on, I might have like words with him. You know, I mean, and not that I'm just because I'm all about, teaching the youth of America things and not showing stacks of money to make these kids overbet. And, and I mean kids, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20.
Yeah.
They are so impressed by seeing bricks of bills. I mean, so impressed by that.
Cash, cars, lifestyle.
I'm not trying to say, but John, remember when I was in like Atlantic City and I had I had a ton of money with me and you were like, we should show that. I really didn't want to show it. This is not
uncomfortable. I know.
Yeah, it's just not. I'm a serious bettor and I'm betting. And I know he's a serious bettor. Anyone betting that kind of money, but I just don't want the kids thinking it's that easy at home. If I had children, I wouldn't even want them to ever bet sports or gamble at all. I wouldn't want them to be around the space at all. I just wouldn't. And, the YouTube, TikTok world is full of those type of guys. It's just not, I don't agree with it. I put out, you see the stuff I tweeted. We had a great show last week. I tweeted out 2 different clips, that we talked about together and about how hard it is to win and how hard it is to maintain the skill sets, especially when you're losing. Our mind goes to a different place. It's the little devil comes out of our pocket and starts.
Bill, I got a lot of messages from last week's show.
We had a lot of views. A lot of views on the different things. Yeah, it was a good show. But then again,
fired up. Bill.
I actually started reading the comments. It's amazing how many people watch the show. I mean, thousands of people, and that there was only like 85 likes or something. So I wonder if I would think last week's if they like, but there's a lot of haters in there too, I guess. That, but yet they watch. You guys want to put some bad comments up, but you watch. I see that.
Yeah.
But I try to respond to them anyway. I'm open to talking to anybody and trying to help them and let them know if they don't understand something I said or they think I said something for a reason, maybe to explain. And then I'll admit, a couple times ago, I put a thing in. I said you're absolutely right. I forget who it was, but there was a guy that was on there. And and I think it was his first name is Steve, and I put on him, yeah, Steve, you know what? You're right about that. I was wrong to say that.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Do you remember back in the day when Howard Stern was the king of radio, when he was on regular radio before Sirius XM? So
sure,
and
he was on NBC at one time in New York, right. And then he went to a bigger one.
They had a stat where they said something like the average Howard Stern fan listens to him 7 minutes a day. The average Howard Stern hater listens to him 27 minutes a day.
Wow. I never heard something like that.
Yeah.
That's a sickness.
Sometimes they watch you to hate on you sometimes.
You know, that's another thing that Chaz Palminteri said. And he said that, you know, these people that are watching you sometimes, it depresses them because they're like, why isn't my life as good as his? Or why am I not on vacation like him? And it's not all it's cracked up to be. I'll just tell you now, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, with money and with professional betting and having teams of guys and teams of different things, it's like juggling. I always say juggling 5 pounds of crap in a 2-pound bag. It's not easy. It's not as glamorous as you think. Trust me, it's not as glamorous as you guys think. And it's nice to go out. I mean, living in Las Vegas, great food, great restaurants, great shows. I'm going to see Jersey Boys tonight over at the Orleans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Jersey Boys is in town for the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to see them. You know, I love
full circle. You went to Frankie Valley.
Frankie Valley, yeah. Remember, he had the Jersey Boys. They were working. They were, you know, they were actually rehearsing there. You remember that he had them stand up. I was with you and your dad, and So I'm going to Jersey Boys. I mean, that's great. You can go to Jersey Boys. You can go see the Mystere and Love, which I love those shows. I love Cirque du Soleil shows, and you get to do a lot of stuff. Get to go to great dinners. John, I went to a place called Al Italica. I sent you guys the video yesterday, didn't I?
The sandwich place.
The sandwich place over by Durango, across the street from Durango.
At the Uncommons.
Uncommons.
Yeah, at the
ALLANTICOVINAIO.
Supposed to be famous.
It's like from Italy. They had these videos on Italy, these beautiful sandwiches. So now I go in there and I say, well, okay, I've seen all the things you have, and these different kind of weird toppings. I thought pistachio spread they put on a lot of the Italian sandwiches with crumbled pistachios on them, and I'm like, I don't know if that goes. I said, you know what, I'm going to go with it. You guys do it up. I said to them, and they did a sandwich for me. By the way, it was a half-hour wait at 3:00 in the afternoon. Think about that. What's it going to be at noontime?
Wow.
So I waited a little bit more.
And they just opened.
35 minutes, yeah. It was an hour wait outside, they said, the first couple of days. 35 minutes. Beautiful day. 70 degrees in Vegas, 71 degrees. Beautiful day. Got the sandwich. The bread came out of the oven. It's like that focaccia bread, though. It's flat. And that's always like a softer kind of bread. And I'm like, that's the only reason I didn't get here sooner, because I knew that bread wasn't going to be that good. Well, boy, was I wrong. The bread came out smoking, and not only did it come out smoking, it was crisp. It was like that had like the almost hard, crunchy outer shell, and yes, it was a little softer inside. It was perfect for the sandwich, and the sandwich was perfect. I didn't expect that. As a matter of fact, I think I texted you guys the menu in our thread with you and George yesterday. It you know what? It's going to be that's going to be a big place here. Usually, always at the beginning, these places are big. Yeah, I text you guys the menu, and I had. Let's see what I had here. I had La Paradiso. It's mortadella, stracciatella, pistachio cream with pistachios, and it was fantastic. Now, my other one I was going to try was La Favolosa. It's salami Toscana, pecorino cream, artichoke cream, spicy eggplant. I was going to try that one, but that'll be next time. And then they just have regular good sandwiches like La Summer, prosciutto, mozzarella, tomato, basil. They have such good sandwiches there. Now, it's expensive. Not gonna lie to you, it's $20 for a sandwich. So, but you know, it's a good sized sandwich. It comes piping hot, bread out of the oven.
Yeah,
and It's fantastic. So that's a really good addition. Now, across the street at Durango, we were talking about Uncle Paulie's. Is that it? Over in Durango? Uncle Paulie's.
I love it there.
Yeah, you said you like it there. I might have had a late night softer roll. I need a harder roll. But it was good, though.
I loved it.
I'm going to try something else. You said try pastrami. See,
get the pastrami.
John, after I have Katz's pastrami in New York on Houston, I can. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's on Houston, right? And Ludlow and Houston, I think the address is. But after I have that pastrami there, the best pastrami in the world, I can't even have it anywhere else. It's a thicker pastrami. But you're saying over there, is it a thinner, like sliced? They slice it right there, obviously, pastrami.
They sliced it right there. It was kind of thick.
Was
actually,
it? I like thick pastrami.
If I remember correctly. It was incredible. And here's the funny thing. I'm actually more of a corned beef guy. I'm not even a pastrami guy. And I loved this.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it then. I may go there now. I'm going to try it. So
do it.
The studio's close to there. But anyway, that there's a couple good spots there in town that we went to. And let me ask you now. So you come back home, and this weekend, like, what are you doing? Are you going to be hanging around? Are you going to go into any of the things with Super Bowl or not really?
UFC fight.
Okay, UFC.
No, I won't go to any parties this weekend. I'll go to UFC on Saturday.
Trying to get your schedule. Okay, good.
And then next week's a big week for me, Bill. I'm
so I don't want to know.
Power Slap Friday night.
Next Friday, Power Slap.
Next Friday night, Power Slap. Saturday, next Saturday, UFC again.
Wow, it's right here in town.
And then
the Live Golf Tournament's also Sunday. In town here. See, look. Yeah. Here, see what we're talking about, guys. Think about that. Like John just said, you can go to Power Slap. These are open to the public, right, John? Power Slap, UFC, Live Golf Tournament at the Desert Inn. Did you know that was here this week?
Yeah.
Live Golf Tournament at the Desert Inn, which our former guest, he comes on sometimes, Casey Kerr. He's going to be here in town for that. Next week, we may have a really good guest on the show. I'm almost positive we're going to have him on the show. Did you ever see Bizarre Foods? When it was on Discovery for years.
No.
It was Anthony Bourdain. Bizarre Foods was the lead-in for Anthony Bourdain after that. Or it might have been vice versa, whatever it was. I love those two shows. But Andrew Zimmern goes all over the world eating crazy, crazy foods. And he's here for a Super Bowl event, which they're having. Our buddy Russ just texted us on that. The Super Bowl event is called Taste of the NFL. So Taste of the NFL.
Someone just sent me this invite.
Yeah, it's an invite. Saturday, February 10th, 3 to 7. You're going to be at the fights. But 3 to 7 p.m., February 10th. And he's one of the chefs that's I guess, judging this Taste of the NFL. So there's 5 of them. Andrew Zimmer, Carlo Hall, Tim Love, Lashita Perry, and Mark Butcher. So these guys are all going to be here in town. And I think we're going to get him right in the studio. So we might get Andrew, and I used to love watching Bizarre Foods. He would eat the craziest stuff. You understand? He's going to like the Philippines, Thailand, all throughout Southeast Asia. Then he's going to Europe. Then he went up to like Minnesota. Like Minnesota people, they like at the border of Canada, they eat like this kind of fish and stuff, like tough stuff that's really tough to eat. So have you ever been involved in that at all?
No, never.
You never? Like, what's the craziest stuff you eat?
Man, I eat like a 5-year-old, Bill. I eat everything plain.
Yeah.
I don't even like if I get a cheeseburger, it's just meat, cheese, and
I know. I've been with you with the cheeseburgers. Yeah.
Plain.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have a burger place. John, do I have a burger place in town? Holy moly. Someone asked me to go. I usually won't go to a bar. I'm not a bar person because people smoke. But I won't go to a bar. But this particular bar, right off the strip, right? It runs parallel. So is that, I don't know if that's Frank Sinatra maybe? It might be Frank Sinatra. There was a bar back there. Here it is. Industrial. I'm going to give it a plug for this place. Okay. The name of the burger place is Stay Tuned Burgers on Industrial. I'll just tell you, man, the burgers there, it's one of those, they're calling them smash burgers now. It's a new cult here. It's like a round, beautiful thing of meat, and the onions get thrown on top and smashed into it, and all the toppings and the fries they have there are tater tots, which are, I remember reading they were like hand cut. How do you hand cut tater tots? But they were so good. I was like, that's all you don't have regular French fries? Okay, tater tots. Great place. If you don't like the onions and stuff, you don't have to have it like that. It's the quality of the beef is what sets it apart from other places. So I really like that place. It's not in the best area, I'll warn you. It's like in back of the stratosphere,
come on!
It's
really?
not but it's on industrial. You know what I mean? It is on industrial, but I noticed where I parked.
It's a little sketchy.
It wasn't the best area, but I mean they have a little bar there. It's great. It's cool, and they were so friendly. And the guy making the burgers was friendly. The waitress behind the bar was so nice. And so there's a burger joint in town, just spontaneously. I guess that's about it, John. Short show. You're not here. Yeah. We all miss you.
Yeah, I know. I'll be back next week, and we'll do a big power Super Bowl. Because next week, I'm assuming you're going to talk about your annual prop bets, right?
We'll talk about prop bets. We'll talk about prop bets for next year. You want me to? I'm going to give everyone a prop now, though, so they can get down on it. Hold on. There was a good prop. Oh, I'm going to give people a prop here.
This is my favorite time of year for you.
Props are really tougher to win, though, than last year's because of these sports books put the lines up literally after the Sunday games for $100 limit. People iron them out for $100, and by the time you get any full limits, the bets are gone. But there's still some. So I seen this one, San Francisco Jennings, under 1.5 receiving yards. If you're a sportsbook, by the way, a lot of the sports books in Vegas don't have prop lines up yet. But if you could find that under 1.5, I laid $1.30. If you could find that, that's probably a pretty good bet. So again, San Fran, I think I don't see the line moving around too much. But if anything, I see it coming down. It's not going to 3, that's for sure. So 2 right now, pretty solid 2. There was 2.5s all over the screen yesterday too. There's only one of them two of them right now. I do like San Fran. I like them on the money line even. I don't think you're going to need the 2.5 point, the 2 points, but we'll see. So anyway, all right, guys, catch us next week. We may have, like I said, Andrew Zimmern on talking about the taste of the NFL, and we'll have a nice pre-Super Bowl show next week live.
All right, we'll see you then.
So next week we'll